I am at the bottom. Is this my fate? Every day I wake up knowing I am the weakest in the room. Every task feels heavier for me than it does for others. My body is slower, my mind feels fogged, my hands shake when I'm put to the test. People look at me and see someone they can overlook, someone who will never amount to anything. They smile politely, but behind their eyes, I see pity. I hear the quiet judgments, the whispers of why I even bother trying. They think I should quit, that I should accept my place. But deep down, I know the truth. Sometimes you keep going not because you are strong, but because you refuse to give up. Every attempt is a reminder of my limits. Every failure cuts into me like a blade. I've been pushed down so many times that the ground has become familiar. And yet, I still get up. I get up even when my knees tremble, even when my heart screams that I can't. I keep moving forward, not because it's easy, but because I can't accept a life where I never tried. The world has a way of showing you your place. It reminds you of your shortcomings at every turn. You watch others advance faster, achieve more, live with less struggle. You watch opportunities pass you by because someone else can do the job better. You learn to live with scraps, with leftovers, with whatever is handed to you. But there comes a point when living like that becomes unbearable. Then comes the moment that changes everything, the moment you are pushed to your limit, when your back is against the wall and there's no way out. That moment when you realize that if you keep living the same way, you'll die without ever having lived. And in that moment, you have a choice: give in to the life you've been given, or sacrifice everything for the life you want. I chose sacrifice. It wasn't glorious. It wasn't easy. The path forward didn't start with applause, it started with pain. Every single day became a test. I pushed my body until it screamed. I forced my mind to focus when it begged for rest. I broke myself down so I could rebuild stronger. There were no shortcuts, no mercy, no one to hold me up when I fell. I had to learn to stand on my own, to fight for every ounce of progress. At first, the changes were small. My body felt just a little lighter, my steps a little faster, my breath a little stronger. It wasn't much, but it was enough to prove that I was moving forward. That proof became my fuel. I stopped avoiding pain and started seeking it, because pain meant growth. Every drop of sweat was a sign that I was breaking through another limit. The world didn't change for me, I changed for the world. And slowly, the person I used to be began to fade away. The weak, trembling version of me was replaced by someone who refused to quit. I was no longer surviving day to day. I was building something greater. But the climb never gets easier. Every time I thought I had reached my limit, life showed me I could go further. Every wall I broke through revealed another wall behind it. Every goal I achieved whispered, "You can do more." And I realized, strength isn't a finish line, it's a choice you make every single day. There were days I didn't want to get up. Days my body ached so much I could barely move. Days when progress felt invisible, when I wondered if all this pain was worth it. But the difference between who I was and who I wanted to be was built in those exact moments. It's easy to push forward when everything is going your way. But real change is forged in the moments you feel like quitting. I learned that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you dream about. If you want it, you have to take it. And to take it, you have to fight for it. That fight isn't always with others. Sometimes, the biggest battle is with yourself. The voice in your head that says, "You're not good enough." The fear that keeps you small. The doubts that tell you, it's safer to stay where you are. I stopped listening to that voice. I stopped giving my fears the final say. Instead, I turned every doubt into fuel. Every setback into a lesson. Every failure into a stepping stone. And slowly, the gap between who I was and who I wanted to be began to close. People started to notice. The same eyes that once looked at me with pity now looked with something else, respect. They saw the changes, but they didn't see the sleepless nights, the aching muscles, the moments alone in the dark, questioning everything. They didn't see the sacrifices. And that's fine. Because I didn't do this for their approval. I did it for me. The day came when I faced challenges that once would have broken me. And this time, I didn't flinch. I didn't hesitate. I didn't back down. Every moment of pain, every tear I held back, every time I got up, when I could barely stand, it all came together in that moment. I had become someone new. But here's the truth, the journey never ends. If you want to keep what you've built, you have to keep going. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The moment you think you've done enough is the moment you start to lose everything. That's why I keep moving. That's why I keep pushing. Because the greatest victory isn't just reaching the top, it's refusing to fall back down. I remember the first time I truly felt unshakable. It wasn't because the challenges disappeared, it was because I had grown strong enough to face them. My heart no longer raced from fear, but from focus. My hands no longer trembled from doubt, but from determination. I had fought too hard, for too long, to let anything break me again. But strength isn't just about the body. It's about the mind and the spirit. It's about waking up on the days you feel empty and still moving forward. It's about holding yourself together when life tries to tear you apart. It's about refusing to surrender even when you are standing alone with no one to cheer you on. I learned that you don't need applause to be great. You don't need the world to recognize your effort. What you need is to look in the mirror and know that you gave everything you had. That you faced your fears and didn't run. That you stood your ground even when it shook beneath you. There's a moment in every journey where you realize you've changed. The pain that once felt unbearable becomes the proof that you're stronger. The challenges that once seemed impossible become the reason you keep going. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." But with every rise comes new weight. The higher you climb, the more you have to lose. The more you've built, the more it hurts to think about falling. That's why discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation is loud, exciting, and temporary. Discipline is quiet, steady, and unshakable. Motivation might start the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. I trained my mind to show up no matter what. To work when I was tired. To focus when I was distracted. To keep going when I had every excuse to stop. I learned that the moments you push, when everything in you wants to quit, are the moments that change you forever. And as I pushed, something happened. I stopped seeing myself as the weakest. I stopped seeing myself as someone who needed saving. I became the one who could stand tall even when others fell. The one who could endure. The one who could lead. But even now, I know I am still climbing. The moment you believe you've arrived is the moment you stop growing. And I will never stop. Because this journey, this fight, this endless pursuit of becoming more, is who I am now. There will always be people who doubt you. People who look at where you came from and believe you can't go further. People who will measure you only by your past and not by your potential. But their opinion is not your reality. You are not who you were yesterday. You are what you choose to become today and tomorrow and every day after that. I have learned that the road to strength is paved with sacrifice. You will lose comfort. You will lose time. You will lose the version of yourself that was afraid to begin. But what you gain is worth far more. You gain self-respect. You gain confidence. You gain the power to stand in any storm and not be moved that when I think back to the person I used to be. I almost don't recognize him. The one who doubted more than he believed. The one who feared failure more than he desired success. The one who waited for someone else to change his life. That person is gone. In his place stands someone who decided to fight for every inch of progress. Someone who understands that strength is not given, it is earned. And to anyone who is where I once was, feeling small, feeling weak, feeling invisible, I say this: you are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not defined by your lowest point. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. But you have to keep moving. You have to keep fighting. You have to refuse to quit. Because one day, you will wake up and realize you have become everything you once dreamed of. One day, the weight you carry now will feel light in your hands. One day, the fear that holds you back will bow to the courage you've built. And when that day comes, you will understand that every tear, every bruise, every sleepless night was worth it. I am living proof that you can start from nothing and build yourself into something unshakable. I am proof that the smallest steps can lead to the greatest heights. I am proof that the only limits that matter are the ones you accept. So stand up. Take your first step. And don't stop. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever.
What the fuck, bro?